It's time for another episode of The Blitz, everyone. Welcome to the Star in Frisco. Lindsay Draper and Bill Jones. Another week of OTAs under our belt out here.
That's right. We're just getting started with OTAs this past week. We go into the second week this coming week, and it's great to see actual football players on a football field here at the Star.
It's so great. We're going to have a couple of those players and even a coach here joining us on set this afternoon, so be excited about that. It's really good stuff. One of them is brand new. But first, Bill, we talked about everyone out here. There's a lot of new rookies, but one face that we aren't seeing is Zach Martin, who is choosing to do his workouts privately.
Yes, and that's in consultation, I believe, with his agent as negotiations are ongoing. Zach Martin should become the highest paid offensive guard in the history of the NFL when he gets that long-term contract finalized in the coming weeks or months or whenever that might be. And so I think it's prudent on his part not to take any injury risk out here on the field.
And he's been around. He's been at the Home Run Derby. I mean, I feel like everything's playing very nice right now. But let's talk about the league and what they do this time of year every year, which is rehash those rules and try to make the game safer.
That's exactly
Comes a little convoluted, but the new helmet rules and the targeting, that's the first thing they went after.
Yep, and you see on your screen there some of the rules that in Atlanta at the owners' meetings that they approved this week. And it's going to be interesting to see how it is actually implemented as far as the new helmet rule. They do not want players to launch and use the crown of their helmet. In fact, officials were out here this past week talking with the coaching staff, and some questions were already being asked and hopefully answered how it will be implemented. But also as far as the kickoffs are concerned, too, a lot of people think that they want to take the kickoff out of the game. Now, the commissioner says he does not want to do that. However, they do want to make it safer. And some of the rules that it's going to be interesting once we get into the preseason and regular season to see what kind of effect it has. One of the things is if the ball goes into the end zone, it's an automatic touchback, and the kickoff team cannot get a running start. They're hoping that the collisions won't be quite as fierce when that happens. But it's going to be interesting to see because this is all new in the NFL.
Brand new, and we'll see how it transitions throughout training camp into the players and how they really react to it. But they've got to be happy. Of course, everything trying to be safer. We had a chance to stop and talk to some of these rookies and have them explain what all this has been like, this big transition in life. And we had them reflect on how they want to be remembered as players, and that legacy starts right now.
The way I like people to see me when I'm done playing, someone who is competitive, you know, the whole game.
He played with passion, that he was a reliable, hard-working guy, that you could see it on the field, his play.
You know, fun to watch, fun to play, and you could see the genuine joy on his face when he was playing football.
I want people to see who I really am as a person and as a man, not as a football player on the field. So I try to show people like my real character off the field.
Obviously, I don't think I can ever compare to a guy like Jason Witten, but to have like even half the career that he had would be honestly a dream come true and be amazing.
When I'm done playing, I want people to describe my career as energetic, fan-loving, and giving everybody the pure version of playing football as a wide receiver.
Just a great man overall, on and off the field. You know, does a lot of different things back home, and overall complete football player.
Legendary. Awesome. I mean, I want to be known as one of the best, if not the best, and I'm going to do everything I possibly can to do that.
Rookies working to earn their star. As if you don't dream big enough around the draft, you get to the star, and I'm sure it just intensifies.
Yes, and it's interesting. Every year they get issued their equipment, and then they get put out here alongside the veterans, and that's when reality really hits for these rookies, when they see how the veterans go about their business.
And reality is hitting for us here on the Blitz because Kris Richard is joining Mickey Spagnola to tell us who inspires him, why is he such a vocal coach, what is his plan for these young corners coming up in 2018.
The Dallas Cowboys Blitz is brought to you by AT&T, mobilizing your world. The law offices of Domingo Garcia, the lawyer that works for justice. And by the Dallas Cowboys Football Club. For the ultimate Dallas Cowboys experience, tour the Star in Frisco, where the Cowboys train and work. For more information, visit thestarinfrisco.com/tours. This segment is brought to you by AT&T, mobilizing your world.
I think he might be as good as any acquisition come in. I mean that now. This guy's really good. He did a terrific job in Seattle. You know that. I mean, that's just the resume's in the tape. But he brings energy, a great deal of intensity, the toughness, but he can relate really well to these players. That's what I really like.
We're back here at OTAs on the Blitz, and Rod Marinelli, he has so much energy. He brings it. If you've been to practice or training camp, you see that in him, but now he's not the only one.
He's got a mirror image in Kris Richard, who's the new pass game coordinator and secondary coach. You know, it's interesting because Rod Marinelli, when he came here to Dallas, he told the defensive players, go look at that Seattle film. Well, now he's got one of the architects of that Seattle defense on his staff in Kris Richard, and Mickey Spagnola with a chance to sit down with Kris.
Thanks, Bill. I'm with Cowboys secondary and pass game coordinator Kris Richard. First time in like 9 years you've changed locations, changed teams.
Yeah.
What's that been like for you?
Man, it's been an awesome transition. It really has. We're in a great area. Obviously, again, this is a tremendous football state. Our fans are tremendous here. And it's really something that you dream about. You know, again, it's America's team, and every other cliche that you could think of, it's true and it's real. It's a great place to be. We're with great people. Again, the guys in the locker room have been great. The coaches, everybody upstairs, it's just been fantastic. The transition has been smooth.
Now, you've had some pretty good influences in your coaching career between Pete Carroll, who you go back to as a graduate assistant at Southern Cal, guys that went on to be head coach, Gus Bradley, Dan Quinn. Who do you think had the biggest influence on maybe your coaching philosophy?
Yeah, it's Coach Carroll, beyond a shadow of a doubt, because he's been the coach that I've had the most time around. And it's really the energy, the enthusiasm, the care and the love that you come with every day that truly makes the difference, and that's what he presents. It's just natural, again, pure, unadulterated energy that you come with each and every single day. And again, it was during that process to where, again, I got to find myself, I got to hear my voice as a coach. And now it's what I'm able to provide, and it's at least what I do my best to provide to everybody each and every single day.
Now, you're pretty animated out there. Were you always like that as a kid growing up, as a player? You played in the league, or is it something you said, oh, if I'm going to coach, this is the way I got to be?
Yeah, well, coaching is a bit different from playing. Somewhere along the lines as a player, you can't waste energy like that. You know, we have to keep your power and your energy within you. My voice grew more as a coach. I've always prepared in the fashion that I do when I played and when I coach. So it's not about the preparation, but it is about the expression and the way that I express. I get to do it more. I've been this way as a player. Again, like to have a great time. Again, like to show and have a lot of energy, and I've been like that my whole life.
And one of your philosophies, I think, that have stuck out is you kind of like larger cornerbacks. What made you come to that conclusion?
Well, we wear on you. You know, like, it's just we wear on you. We make it very difficult for people at the line of scrimmage because we challenge you consistently at the line, and that's what it's about. You know, no easy releases, no easy downs. Just want to challenge everything, and just being bigger and longer, it presents that challenge more consistently than a smaller guy does.
And it was one of the reasons why we understand you wanted to see Byron Jones, who had been playing safety, played a little corner his freshman year, moved back to cornerback, a little larger guy.
Yes, always wanted to have an opportunity to work with Byron Jones.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about one of the premier athletes now that he's going to be playing corner at the position. So again, he has tons of work ahead of him. He is doing a phenomenal job. He is a tremendous student. He is cerebral. Again, we already know the type of athlete that he is, but it's a joy to work with guys of that nature. You know, he's a consummate professional. He's a leader on our football team, and it's just good to have him around.
Now, the rest of it, you got a bunch of young pups. They're just kind of trying to find their way. So how do you kind of treat those guys and get to know maybe what their skills are in a short period of time?
Yeah, we let them go.
Yeah.
I said we let him go. I said a wise man once said a long time ago, if a dog's gonna bite you, he'll do it when he's a puppy. So now that we got a bunch of pups, let's see if they bite. You know, and then now we just have to make sure we're channeling the energy, channeling the technique, channeling the fundamentals, channeling the assignments all in the right direction. These guys all have good heads on their shoulders. They're good kids. They're good men. And right now, it's just it's too soon to tell. But we got a lot of work ahead of us. But we're chomping at the bit. We're going to be ready to roll.
And I mentioned cornerback, but you also got to take care of the safety position.
No doubt.
Another young pup back there with Xavier Woods, who the Cowboys thought a lot of in the draft to trade into the 6th round to grab him. What were your thoughts of him so far? Because everybody's thinking, oh, they need a safety.
This guy's going to be our sideline guy. And he's got the speed, he's got the mind, he's got the toughness. He has the tools to do what we're going to require out of our middle of the field safety, out of any safety, in any position that we have him. He's got the tools that's required. Again, Jeff Heath has the tools that's required. Kayvon Frazier has the tools that's required. Again, we got a bunch of guys here that has the tools that's required. Again, it's going to be our responsibility to make sure that we grow them in a proper fashion.
Okay, appreciate your time
very
much.
much.
Bill, that's Cowboys secondary coach, past game coordinator, Kris Richard. Back to you.
You got to love Kris Richard. If a dog's going to bite you, he'll do it as a puppy.
That's
and
great.
we saw that last year from Chido Awuzie and Jordan Lewis in their time as rookies. It's going to be very interesting to see how they progress from year 1 to year 2 under Kris Richard.
All right, we're going to take our next break, but when we come back, we are talking about the years to come in the National Football League. Where will the Super Bowl be down the road and the draft next year? It's going to be a fun one next.
This segment was brought to you by AT&T, mobilizing your world.
Our first statement coming in is we're not trying to replace those guys. Those guys are irreplaceable. We can't come in and say we need you to be the leader Dez was. We need you to be the leader Witt was. We have a lot of guys and a lot of guys that have been in this league that lead, and sometimes they lead by example, by going out there and just not saying a word and just giving all their energy, and then it pays off and it shows. And so young guys can look at it. That's the way you practice. That's the way you come in, you handle your business. And sometimes you don't have to say anything to do it. And we have those guys. And then we have the rah-rah guys, the guys that are screaming, the guys that are getting everybody going, making sure the energy's there.
There are a lot of new roles open for leadership, but that one is not open. Dak Prescott stays where he is, but it's interesting to think about the new guys.
Yeah, and obviously Dak Prescott is a natural-born leader.
Of course.
In fact, I believe he's got a master's in workplace leadership at Mississippi State, and he really showed it even in his rookie season and last year. I don't think they're going to have an issue as far as that's concerned. I don't look at a leadership issue as far as the wide receivers are concerned, just seeing what I've seen already out of Allen Hurns. You got Cole Beasley at that position also. And the bigger thing, I think, with Jason Witten is just the overall leadership that he provides in that locker room, not on the offense, but in general, just sort of setting the tone. But they've got guys on this team that can assume that mantle.
Absolutely. And will any of those be young guys? Well, might be a rookie, and his dad might be there to watch him. Do you know what he would roll up in?
You're talking about Leighton Vander Esch and the Vander Esch family bus, which has now got a Dallas Cowboys motif to it. And he got to work very quickly. Yeah,
he is absolutely ready. That, first of all, that would be really nice to have.
It would be.
I mean, that'd be great for games, tailgating, traveling. And apparently he's really souped it up on the inside. Pretty crazy.
And it won't be long before I can see a feature done on the inside of that bus.
Will he be rolling to the Super Bowl in it in 2023 or 24? We have just found out that those will be in Arizona and New Orleans. It's going to be hot. Well, maybe not in February. Maybe not in February.
And maybe not indoors also. They may go ahead and turn on the air conditioning for those games. But seriously, why is AT&T Stadium taken out of the mix on these things now? We're going back to sites of Super Bowls in the past, okay, with now Glendale, Arizona, and New Orleans. It does not ice here in North Texas all the time. It was just one week.
Just a one-time
Give us another chance.
All right, we are going to talk next segment to Taco Charlton. He joins us on set to discuss all changes from year 1 to year 2 here on the Blitz.
you know, just being under the Coach Marinelli wing, he teaches you a lot, you know. He might not have too much patience for you, but he believes in you so much that he takes the ceiling off you and let you grow. So, you know, dealing with Taco, I mean, you know, I feel like Taco had a pretty good rookie season. Like y'all take away the light that, you know, he was playing behind me, so it wasn't like, you know, he can get as many reps as he needed. But this year I feel like he's going to come along, you know, and take y'all by storm.
DeMarcus Lawrence on Taco Charlton, who is joining us now on the Blitz. Welcome in. And Taco, it's easy to talk about you if you're DeMarcus Lawrence. He's saying, you know, in his first year, he had to play behind me. So you might not have got a lot of reps, but I'm sure that you learned quite a bit.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like I said, it's a blessing and a curse. Like I said, I wasn't able to be out there on the field as much, but just being behind him and just being out here on the practice field also, too, and being able to pick his brain and just watch him and everything like that, I was able to pick up on things that helped me improve, too. And just the type of, you know, person he is and the person that even Ty is, they're both two veteran guys who, you know, teach me a lot, even though I'm right behind them. They teach me everything they know to help me improve my game.
All right, so how big of a difference is it from the first year to the second year for you?
It's been a big difference. Like I said, I've been able to get, you know, faster, stronger, and just more comfortable out there. Like I said, it's the sense of, you know, feel like you're good to go. You know, you don't have to think as much. You can just play and play your game. So as the year progressed, I found that into my second year, I feel real comfortable out there and, like I said, ready to go.
So what are some of the things you're doing this off season, or that you felt like you needed to improve on after your rookie season that you've been working on this off season up to now?
Just strength, explosiveness, and just working on different techniques, different moves, everything like that. Just putting it all together. So out here at OTAs, we can put it all together and test out, you know, things I've been working on and see what else I can work on. So like I said, it's been you know, good chance to finally have an off season where I can just focus on football.
What's that competition like on that defensive line?
I mean, it's fun. It's just because the fact we push each other. We talk trash, and we push each other to be the best that we can be. So it's definitely a friendly competition, but it's a competition nonetheless.
Who's the best trash talker on the defensive line?
Me, for sure.
Oh, yeah?
I
really?
Can you give us an example of it? That's
family-oriented. It's a family-oriented you know, thing, so I'm not going to say what I'll be talking, but I talk a lot of trash, or definitely in meeting rooms or wherever we at. So if you're kind of sensitive, you probably won't like me.
Well, we look at the roster each year, and they feel like there's a ton of turnover and new faces. Do you feel like that too when you're out there?
Yeah, I mean, we lost some guys that, you know, we were close to, but we brought in some nice talent. So, I mean, you know, the defensive line, we're real close. So, you know, when somebody else gets brought in, you know, they're part of the brotherhood now. So we bring them in, we put them up close to speed, and, you know, Coach Marinelli works them. So, yeah, you get brought up to speed pretty fast.
Coach Marinelli, what did you learn the most from him in your rookie season?
No matter how far you get into the season, you're going to work the same. So, matter of fact, you might work harder than you did at the beginning. At the end as you did at the beginning. So, you got to come to work every day.
They say players make the biggest jump from the first year to the second year. Is that going to happen for Taco?
That's the plan right now. So, I mean, a lot of the guys out here, they've been able to see the improvement. Like I said, D-Law's been one of the guys, but, you know, a lot of guys that say they see the improvement, they see, you know, how much I've been working. So that's the plan, to see the big jump to year two.
Well, Taco, thank you so much for joining us. We know how busy you are during this time of year, so we appreciate it. We are taking our final break from the Blitz, and when we come back, we're going out to AT&T Stadium with Gene Jones to see what is going on with these students in Arlington ISD.
The Dallas Cowboys Blitz was brought to you by AT&T, mobilizing your world. The law offices of Domingo Garcia, the lawyer that works for justice. And by the Dallas Cowboys Football Club. For the ultimate Dallas Cowboys experience, tour the Star in Frisco, where the Cowboys train and work. For more information, visit thestarinfrisco.com/tours.
I may cry. They all really worked hard on those helmets, and I talked to several of the students, and they had, you know, they'd come to school before school and stayed after school, worked during their lunch break. They really took the pride in making their helmet the best it could be. And I thought we needed to share this with our fans at the stadium, and also for them to have their helmets at their school.
Congratulations to the students of Arlington ISD. That wraps it up for Bill Jones and I. We will see you all next week for another episode of The Blitz.